It's the OK Football Show. Welcome along. Good to have you all here with us. I'm Ollie K, and I'm joined in the Bricklayers Arms in the heart of Hightown by my co-hosts. As always, I've got Beefy, Phil, and producer Matt. How are we getting on, fellas? I'll start with you. As always, Beefy.
I'm depressed, Ollie. I'm very, very depressed. Friday was a kick in the teeth.
It was indeed. And Phil?
Yeah, for me, it's a sad day because we're recording on a Sunday. I've had a day to simmer on things since the Friday night, and I know this goes out on the Tuesday, so people are probably going to be a lot calmer on Tuesday than I am right now. So I'll try and be as diplomatic as I possibly can. But yeah, I am going to be admit that I'm a bit gutted about how it went on Friday.
Well, look, it's 48
Furious.
hours.
Yeah,
at the time it was absolutely. It was infuriating, but look, 48 hours later, we're recording a Sunday morning, so, we can alleviate those. And producer Matt, last but not least.
I'm doing all right, thanks, Ollie.
Good stuff.
No, I think I've gotten over it-ish. So, yeah, I'm doing okay, thanks.
That's good.
What are the 7 stages of grief? It's denial, anger. I'm still in anger.
Yeah, but the thing is, hopefully, this will be quite therapeutic today, so we can process it.
It's good to talk.
Yeah, it's good to talk. But before we round up everything going on around Kenilworth Road this week, just a quick shout out. If you're watching this on our YouTube, the fastest growing Luton Town YouTube channel right now, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more content, and also a big thank you to our audio partners Blackstar Amplification and Carry On for making sure that we sound great. They even gave Matt a really cool hat. Look at that. And also a big shout out to our podcast sponsors, the Record Shop in Amersham. Go check them out wherever you are in the country. Head down there, check out their vinyl, their CDs, pretty much everything they got. They got guitars as well. And if you mention the OK Football Show, they might even give you a discount. They probably will, but be nice about it,
yeah, lessons learned.
Right, now it's time to round up everything that's gone on around Kenilworth Road this week in our new segment. I heard it through Rowans Grapevine. I heard it through Rowans Grapevine. Shamona. Okay, football. So let's discuss. Yeah, sorry, Beefy. I know.
I don't want to. You know when you go to therapy and about an hour before you're like, I cannot face this week. It's gonna be awful. It's like that.
Look, it was Talk that said it's good to talk.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, what are we doing here?
So, okay, we played them in the Carabao. We don't need to really talk about the Carabao bit too much. Look, overall, played back 4 for the beginning of it. And we looked decent. Marvin Camber came back. Reece Burke came back. Mads Anderson featured in the second half. So, at least a positive from that game where we went out on penalties. We got players back, right?
It was our rehab game.
Yeah.
Nobody was taking it very seriously.
So was the league game the relapse then?
Yeah. I mean, I think literally the only talking point from Tuesday night is Zach Nelson.
Oh, what a screamer.
What a screamer. I mean, just fantastic. You could tell from the second you saw his body shape that was flying in, and it just, wow. Rocket.
Do you remember the Benjamin Pavard goal that he scored for France? And I'm pretty sure it was a World Cup.
It was Argentina.
Euro. But it just the way that it flighted off of his laces and the technique. Zach Nelson, round of applause because it was unbelievable.
Yeah, really
Absolutely brilliant goal.
It was a proper technique. He's won that, considering that we lost Chio, we'll talk about that a bit later when we're rounding up the rest of the news. Considering we lost Chio, I think it's his time to shine, really. Yep. I'll start with you, producer Matt. So, the league game. What were your take-home thoughts about it? Come on, let's have some therapy now.
I felt like this was kind of the first game of the season. I know it wasn't actually the first game of the season, but it felt like it. Friday night under the lights.
Felt like a final pre-season game.
This was the opportunity for Luton to be back in the Championship, show everyone what we're about.
We did that for 45 minutes.
For 45 minutes, we did. It was absolutely fine.
Or 55 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, first half was brilliant. There was some great attack and play, except some big missed opportunities as well. which I think will be discussed by some people to my right, as well as a few defensive errors later on in the game, which I think will be talked about by some people on my right. But it was the way the game happened. We were great in the first half, but I went into half-time not very confident that we were going to win that game. And then second half happens, all momentum is lost in 3 minutes, and it's the same old Luton that we've seen against Burnley, against Preston North End. Like, it was just horrible to watch.
It was indeed. There was a touch of naivety about it. Phil, what were your thoughts on this?
So I asked you specifically to ask me about this because
I've
got this whole. I don't care.
You're showing how the sausage is made.
Honestly, I was actually very different to Matt at half time. I spoke to Wedge. We had our usual chat, and I was actually praising McGuinness in regards to how he was defending Frey. I was saying about how clever he was because he was keeping him at arm's length. And so it meant that any time that the ball was over the top, McGuinness knew that he had the pace on him. He knew that he was able to get it to get that job done, right? And I have to admit, the Adebayo chance came about. Obviously, he's not to put that away. That would have been literally game-changing. So we've then got Mengi, obviously, on in replace of Burke. And what frustrated me so much about the way that it went is how naive we are when it comes to conceding the goal. We are Amir Khan FC. We have got a glass chin. If we get hit, that's it. We're done. It's so frustrating. And I've put in here in my notes about being naive because what really frustrates me, and it happened a few times last season, it's happened already this season, is that we concede and then we're dumb. We don't have any clever nous to actually get us through a difficult moment. Someone go down and feign an injury. Kaminsky, say you've pulled your hamstring. Get
QPR were doing a lot of that, weren't they?
Yeah, but how many times do we say that teams will come to us and around the 25th to 30th minute, they'll have a tactical break? I used to bemoan it all the time when Wickham used to come to town. Wickham were for me, they were the prime example. Exactly. Think about Pelly and his time. So we've been pegged back to 1-1. You can feel the momentum's changed. Why haven't we got someone that's clever enough to actually go down and buy us a minute? It infuriates me because then the game's totally. We've spoken about it at length in the past. The Bournemouth game, where there was quick fire goals, right?
Yep.
I know we saw yesterday that they can do that, but the point I'm trying to make is we need to. Where's the learning? Where's the learning from those experiences? And the other thing that annoys me, and sorry, I did say I was going to go off on one, but you look at Rob Edwards, and when he first came to the club, I gave him specific praise because I was really grateful for the fact that he saw a problem and fixed it. He wasn't afraid to go and make a substitution. We went down 2 goals within 3 minutes, and he sat there with his team, pondering and pondering and pondering and pondering.
It needs to be
do something
super reactive.
now. Yeah. And then what happened at the end of it is that after 10 minutes of pondering, he makes a couple of changes us to a 4-3-3, and then it's basically a case of we'll just lump it. Mm-hmm. We made nothing until like the 92nd, 93rd minute. We had the Carlton Morris chance where he cut in on his left, and we had the header from Joe Taylor. But all that took half an hour. What is it? No, sorry, my mistake, maths. But 25 minutes, right? By the time that they'd actually sort of settled onto the pitch and actually figured out what the hell was going on. We could have done that 5-10 minutes earlier and created a number of more chances. And it's just that theme of naivety for me. I haven't had a chance to offload yet since the game on Friday. You're probably getting it now.
I've done 2 shows.
But it really, really hacked me off. And it's something that I've been itching to get off my chest. And I'll get pelters for it. I don't care. My opinion is that we are being very, very naive at the minute. We need to halt this slide because it is a slide. You look at the figures for us for the whole year. It's bleak.
Yeah, it is bleak. I think so. In the vein of therapy, let's talk about the positives for a minute. Baptiste had a good game, created 2 good chances. We didn't take either of them, but he created them.
Did you find that his assist was like pretty much exactly the same as the one Celta Vigo and again for Burnley?
Opposite foot though.
Opposite,
but
opposite
it's
side cross.
the same half space.
Yeah.
That crawling, that.
It's too predictable.
Well, I don't think it is because it
No,
creates
I mean,
the
that
chances.
is literally the only way we create. We don't
Yeah,
enter the box through the
well,
D. We only enter it from the half space outside the box.
Let's
or the
stick on the
touchline.
positives for a minute.
Okay.
Let's
Sorry,
stick on the
BP,
positives. Baptiste, great. Walters, that looks like a fantastic signing.
Yeah.
For someone that age, he looked very composed. He's quick, he's dangerous, and he can actually defend. So there's a right wing back who can actually defend. Great. That's it for the positives, I think. So there weren't that many, so it didn't take long. You're right about predictability. Sweep the ball out wide to Doughty. Doesn't bother taking anyone on. Maybe puts a half-height cross in. And that was it for 65 minutes. Then we switched to the 4-3-3 and just went long ball. Didn't create anything either, really.
To Joe Taylor, who's...
Taylor, who's 4'7".
Yeah, he put himself about, fair play, but he's never winning anything in the air.
The fact is that Frey is everything we wanted Morris to be yesterday, and he wasn't. Yesterday,
Great finish
2 days
from
ago.
Frey, and to be honest, I'll say it, fair play QPR, because they showed us how to defend.
Yeah, they did. But Frey had a good game. I thought McGuinness handled him well in the first half. The McGuinness mistake for that goal was unfortunate. He was too tight.
He was too tight.
He was way too tight. And if you're going to be that tight, you've got to win the ball.
Yeah.
And then
I think he backed himself to win
He
it.
did. And then Frey just bossed him and Mengi together. The second goal was the killer for me, though, because that is the third or fourth time this year, and it's only cost us a goal once now, that Doughty has been sucked into the ball and left someone free at the back post. And it just happens over. You can see it happening over and over again. Where's the discipline? And where's Chong slotting into that space? Where's the awareness that Doughty's been sucked in, so someone else needs to pick up the back post? And if we're going to continue to play this bonkers 3-4-3 that just doesn't work, then we need everyone in the team to be looking for those gaps, and it wasn't happening. It looked very casual. What a great finish, though, from Frey. I mean, can we sign him? Too late now, but...
Too expensive as well.
Too expensive as well.
Just signed a long-term deal at QPR this summer.
I mean, on the volley, the technique necessary to get that goal in was phenomenal. So there were 2 positives for me. That was Walters and Baptiste. The rest was dismal. And, I wasn't one who booed at the end, but it was loud and there were a lot of people who did.
Well, let's talk about boo/Clapgate then.
Clapgate.
No, not Clapgate.
Let's not call it Clapgate.
Okay, Clap/Boogate. So my personal opinion was I will not boo at a game unless we get absolutely battered like 10-0. I did not boo. Obviously, I took a video of Rob Edwards just to show the thoughts and feelings of the fans. It was mixed. As soon as the final whistle went, there were boos. There were boos. And people can say, there weren't boos. There were boos. It was audible. People have tried to say that there weren't boos.
Oh, there were.
It was loud and there were a lot of them. I think on this, you pay your money. You can do whatever you want at the final whistle. There's no right or wrong. If you feel like I'm going to back the team because they're in a low confidence rut, so I'm going to clap regardless of the result, fine, do that.
That's just negative reinforcement.
I don't.
Or positive I can't think which reinforcement that is.
Well, think about you've got someone at work or whoever who isn't performing. You can frankly say to them,
carrot or stick.
I think we need a bit of carrot at the minute. This is a team.
You think we need carrot?
This is a team that has won 2 league games in 2024. In any other walk of life, there would be people out of jobs. Now, they've got a lot of credit because a lot of those results are in the Premier League, but this is a team with rock-bottom confidence, and that isn't going to be helped by people booing, but I respect absolutely the right of people to do that.
There's a thing called radical candor, and sometimes you actually just need to say how things are. And the way I saw it, I did boo at the end. I didn't boo when they were. I booed.
You booed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I booed. I didn't clap.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You're
I
entitled,
literally just. I
you're
didn't
entitled
boo.
to do whatever you want. Really.
I didn't boo the whole way around when they were saying thank you to the fans. I booed at the initial result, which I think was the palpable boo that we've all spoken of. And then I stood there shell-shocked, and I didn't react at all. I just watched them go around. I didn't clap. I just stood there.
That describes it really well. I was shell-shocked.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Now, what I think, and I'll get, again, the booer is going to say something, but I think that we have been on the crest of a wave for a long, long time. Like, our trajectory as a club has been upwards for years and years and years and years and years, right? And it's culminated in the Premier League and then obviously the subsequent relegation, right? I think that the likes of Rob Edwards doesn't realise how Luton Town was still. When you think about the years when we had Richard Money and when we had Paul Buckle, boos were a weekly thing, right? It was something that was, I'm not going to say it's part of the culture, but there's an expectation within Luton Town that we are at least making sort of certain efforts to be successful. And I think that at the moment, Rob, this is very controversial, but I think that when you look at when he came into the club, it was very much a Nathan Jones side. And he spoke about that. He spoke about the fact that he's inherited a side that have a certain working ethos, that have a great atmosphere, and he worked with that and got us all the way to the Premier League, and props to Rob Edwards for that. Please don't think that I'm misinterpreting things. But there comes a point where he changed things, which was the right thing to do in the Premier League after, like I say, 8 or 10 games. He changed things because of the personnel we had.
But it worked initially.
And it worked. It did work,
it worked,
right?
Until it didn't.
Until it didn't. And this is the thing I'm getting annoyed with at the moment, is that when you see what I spoke of earlier on, that naivety around making substitutions, about going behind, about the unbelievable lack of confidence that's going throughout our side, we need to change something. And I think that what we saw on Friday night in the reaction from the fans was actually, it was a turning point for me. It was that you've got half of the fans that are still in the sort of the controllable still sort of mindset, and then you've got the other half who are getting a bit pissed off with it. So I'm not going to be controversial and say what they are or not, but the point is that it is a slight endorsement for our fan base as well, because you're allowed to have your opinion. We've said about it just now. It's absolutely fine. You can clap, you can boo, you can stand there shell shocked. But the point is that I think the club has been very fortunate to enjoy these years that we've had, and now we're going through a real situation where there's potential strife for the club. What's gone on with the transfer window, what's going on with the results. 2020 aren't infallible in this, as well. So
no one is above question.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
One. And to be honest, people like to defend them, which is fine. They did a great job. Dating back to the Gurney days, where that was sort of the root and stem of 2020, the LTST, were important in ousting Gurney, but no one is above question. No one.
I think we've had it so good for so long that this has been a bit of a shock for everyone, the start of this year and the tail end of last year. Yeah. If you were a supporter of a club like West Brom, where your owner is destroying your club, you would take Luton every step of the way. Teams like Luton and Brighton that are well run, financially sound, are quite rare. Yeah. So there's plenty of credit in the bank, but like you say, a question needs to be asked about a couple of things. The system isn't working. There's some players that aren't performing, and now is the time for some changes to be made.
Well, it's perfect going into international break. Look, let's round up what's been going on elsewhere around Kenilworth Road. So we had some international call-ups. Joe Johnson into the England under-19s. I love that. I'm a big Joe Johnson advocate. Ruel Waters into the England under-20s. I think that's thoroughly deserved. More so than Joe Johnson, because Ruel Waters has been doing and showing how good he is with the with the performances so far this season. Bell into the Jamaica squad, fair play to him to come back from quite a brutal knee injury, and Thomas Kaminski into the Belgium squad just to sit on the bench. Fair play to him.
Yeah, well, he's going to really struggle to overhaul Castells to that number one jersey.
Playing top flight football.
Yeah.
Belgium, they're going through an ebb and flow at the moment. I don't think they're great under Roberto Martinez.
No, but Kaminski doesn't suit them in the way that he doesn't suit Luton, because they're playing possession-based football and he's got such terrible distribution.
Look, it is what it is. But let's talk about transfer deadline day. We'll keep it brief because there wasn't really too much to discuss, and we can do a deadline day roundup show next week during international break as well. So Mengi was the hot topic. Is he going? Is he not going? Fabrizio Romano said he agreed personal terms with Torino, but obviously Torino didn't hit our number, did they?
No, clearly not. And
And
yeah, because they bought
he
another.
didn't start the game either.
He didn't. No, I mean the reasoning he was given for not starting on Tuesday was he had some sort of strain. So which you can believe that
It makes
if
sense.
you like it or not.
Makes sense to come on for the second half. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked out quite well having him there for the second half and reintroducing Burke and not overdoing it for Burke because we all
I
know
think
that
Burke's gone off injured anyway.
well, I was hoping that it would be a case of he's gone off to protect him from being further injured, but I don't know. But because we sort of did a similar thing, didn't we, with Bell when he started down at Portsmouth.
Well,
so
anyway, good thing we turned away Nathan and Goy at the door.
Yeah, that's handy because we definitely don't need another centre half.
No, we don't.
I think, look, Mengi was phenomenal last year. He cost us almost nothing. If he was going to leave for a big payday, best of luck to him, really. He's going to stay now and hopefully just will recommit to the club until at least January.
Hope so.
And it will show in his performances. I don't know if the number we were looking for is complicated by what is probably a pretty large sell-on clause from United.
No, well, I've heard it's 15 to 20%. We actually had their pants down.
Well, that's a good piece of business.
I'm going to tell you about a better piece of business in the next bit.
Tell us all about it.
Okay, so yeah, we're done with Mengi then. Mengi, please just get your head back in the game, right?
Yeah, and if you want to go in January, no hard feelings. Stick with us till then.
Yeah, you want to hear some good business? So I was told by a reliable source that we sold Chiedozie Ogbene for up to 8 million to Ipswich. He was in the final year of his deal. He signed a 2-year deal. Yeah, he's just some random bloke from Rotherham. So we signed him a 2-year deal, an extra year on the basis that we stayed up. Which we did not.
Was it a nearly staying up clause?
No. It was a staying up, black or white. There's no spectrum here. So Chiedozie Ogbene was on the final year of his deal. So does that change your mind about it being good business?
There are two ways to get promoted, right? There's put the money in the bank, or there's splash the money like you've never seen so much in your life. And Ipswich have chosen the latter.
The forestry.
They've only got I think they got fewer than 100, excluding Calvin Phillips, they got fewer than 100 Premier League appearances. All those signings. It's terrible business.
It is just terrible business, but great business for us. I mean, if the fee is around the 8 million that's been reported with a year to go on his contract, that's phenomenal because, Ogbene's value is never going to be higher than it is now.
Yeah.
He's a great player, and we had some great times watching him. Best of luck at Ipswich. I think he's going to have a very rough year there. having watched a couple of Ipswich games so far this year, they're not cut out for the Premier League.
They'll be entertaining. I think that I actually think I can't remember what source it was from, but Ipswich have sort of done a bit of a Barcelona. I never thought I'd say that in a sentence, but they've tried to sort of
mortgaging their future
going bust,
financial levers.
No, they've literally taken a loan out, I think, against their TV rights, which has then allowed them to spend all this money.
They're owned by financial guys.
Yeah. So to be fair,
Stocks
they're giving it a go.
that.
They're giving it a go. So I can't say fairer than that to say to Chio, go and enjoy another league, another year in the Premier League. He'll have a couple of outstanding games like he did against Newcastle. Hopefully they'll play Dan Burn against him.
Dan Burn with the PTSD. Panic.
But other than that, like I say, best of luck to it. It's going to be a real difficult year for him. But from a Luton's perspective, 8 million for a player in his last year of his contract is absolutely incredible business. So,
right. Well, I hope we don't run out of time because we're going to talk about all of Luton's deadline days dealings. Lamine Fanny, end of list. Signed him from AIK in Sweden. He doesn't join us till January, which is odd because the Swedish season doesn't actually. It finishes in November. I don't understand. What's he doing with that extra month?
He just must need a break.
Is he trying to fit in an
He's
injury?
having a holiday, yeah.
Well,
he's going to blow out his meniscus on holiday.
on schedule. He looks all right, He's been described as AIK's Yaya Toure. He's young. He doesn't need to be registered. I wish we'd done some more business.
Well, but I was looking at the comments under the football club's Instagram post announcing the signing, and it's full of AIK fans just like, we love this guy, take good care of him. I was just like, how has he managed to build up that much goodwill? He's only been there 2 years, I think. They absolutely love him.
Yeah, they do. I saw all those comments on YouTube, and they were absolutely gushing over him, weren't they?
Let's see what happens with him. We'll talk about him in January once we actually get to see him. But I think that's enough for all the news around Kenilworth Road. Now it's time to spin the wheel. It's the OK Football Wheel of Games.
It's time for the wheel. Wheel of games, wheel of games, wheel of games, wheel of games.
Okay, it's time to spin the wheel.
Player's choice. I think we should do OK Football against humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, football
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
humanity. Agreed.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I think the question this week should be, what does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win?
That's a great question. Yes.
All right. There are loads of cards there, Matt. Just be generous
Give
with
10
them.
10 to everyone. 10 bad
Okay.
ones to Phil.
There you go. Got some good ones here. Got some goodies.
I got some very good ones.
Okay, we're picking two, right?
Yeah.
Two.
Okay, while you guys are picking, Beefy, you want to go first?
Yep. What does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win? World peace. What does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win? Moral ambiguity.
Okay, they're my one. So this is a hark back to a former manager. What does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win? A PowerPoint presentation. What does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win? Puppies.
We might not win, but we'll enjoy it.
What does Rob Edward needs to do to get a win? Sean Penn.
Yep.
Good on you, Sean. And I've actually got one that more describes Rob Edwards at the moment. A Japanese tourist who wants something very badly but cannot communicate it. Cannot communicate that win.
All right. What does Rob Edwards need to do to get a win? My first one is blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair play.
The actual answer, though, what does he need to do to get a win? Going around punching people.
Yeah, good job. Good
Just
job.
imagine him up in the stands, any booers.
All right, that's good. Who's the winner then?
Punching people.
Punching people.
Punching people.
Punching people.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Right. Good job. Good job, lads. Right, now it's time for Mark the Hatter's super question of the week.
Mark the Hatter, he's put a question to us. Mark the Hatter, he's put a question to us.
Okay, so got a great question this week from Mark, and also credit to Will from Luton Facts and Figures.
Best
Good account, that, yeah.
Best account on Twitter. He helps me out a lot with the Hatters Heritage account. Pretty much every single tweet you see from Hatters Heritage is from him. He's smashing it. No one loves Luton like this guy. Maybe Simon Pitts.
Okay, so this is a topical one, as we've said before. It's going to be topical. Zach Nelson's midweek stunner against QPR in the League Cup made him one of the few Luton Town teenage goal scorers. Can you name the last 5 teenagers to score for Luton in all competitions?
So it's Arthur Reed.
Yep.
Arthur Reed. Connor Tomlinson didn't score. James Justin.
Yep, JJ.
I don't think we go as far back as Lee Mansell. Was Lee Mansell? No, that was
too
like,
Jake Howell's too
2001.
far back.
No, Jake Howes will be there.
No.
No? Keith Keane?
Nope.
Oh,
Oh.
that might be too far back then.
Calvin Andrew. Shoot.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
That's tough.
I can give you some hints.
Yeah, go on, give
Go
us
on
some
then.
hints.
Next one is, it was a 4-0 win versus West Ham under-21s in the 2017 EFL Trophy.
Zane Banton.
No.
No, he was
Oh,
gone
that
by
was a
then.
shout, though. He's at St Albans now, isn't he? Well, he was for the last few years.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Saw him play at Hemel for them. He was good.
No, I don't think we're gonna have any
Okay.
chance.
No, we're not
Go
go-
on.
we're not
we
getting
lost.
this.
We won last week.
That was-
9 out of 10.
That was Cavan,
Yeah.
Cavan Cotter.
No Wales
And
getting that.
then the next one was Aaron Jarvis in the same game.
All right.
Jarvis.
Wasn't getting that.
And the
yeah.
last one was Frankie Masonda in the 2-1 win against Gillingham in the EFL
Yeah,
Trophy in
never.
2016.
Not getting close.
Super question of the week is becoming absolute granite
Yeah.
question of the week.
Right, but why is this podcast different from all other podcasts?
I don't know, Ollie. Why is this podcast different from all other podcasts?
Because there's a joke in here.
What do you call a French man wearing sandals? Philippe Philop. Okay, got a slightly long joke this week. A man's on his boat out on a lake with a bucket full of fish that he just caught. A wildlife officer spots him and pulls his boat up alongside. Seeing the bucket of fish, the wildlife officer asks to see his fishing licence. The man tells the officer he doesn't need a fishing licence. The wildlife officer looks down at the bucket and says, "You definitely do need a licence to be catching fish. I can see you've been fishing. You've got live fish right there." The man says, "Oh no, these are my pet fish. Brought them out here for the day to enjoy the lake." "Pet fish?" says the wildlife officer. "Oh, absolutely. I let them out of the bucket. They swim around and play. When I whistle, they all jump right back in. They're very well trained." Wildlife officer scratches his chin. He says, "I've never heard of such a thing. I've got to see this." Man dumps the bucket of fish into the lake, calmly turns around and looks at the wildlife officer. The officer says, "Well, call them back." Man says, "Call who back?" The wildlife officer says, "Your pet fish." "What fish?"
It's very similar
Very
to a
good.
job like a policeman finds someone doing cocaine in a toilet. Like, look, what I do is I put the bag in my pocket. I put the bag in the toilet. It disappears.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's magic.
Yeah.
That's never.
Like I keep flushing it. It keeps coming back. That was a good joke, man. That was a good joke. Well done. Right, now it's time to look ahead to our next game against Millwall. And we're going to play the Sluga Six.
Sluga, 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 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Sluga, 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 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
So this week in our Sluga 6 Predictor League, the spoils went to Ollie K, who got two scores bang on the nose to bag 7 points. Beefy, you were close behind on 6, 1 bang on the nose and 3 other correct results. Matt, you scored 4, getting 1 bang on the nose. I scored a lowly 2. And Ben Platt from the W12 podcast scored 3 points on behalf of the opposition
Ben.
podcast. So the games that we're going to predict this week, which you'll see on our socials, we're going to post them up as a graphic instead of me running through the scorelines each week. We're going to be looking at Leeds versus Burnley, Oxford versus Stoke, Watford versus Coventry, Blackburn versus Bristol City, Derby versus Cardiff, and the big fixture itself, Millwall versus Luton Town. So as it stands at the moment in regards to the league table, we have at the top of the leaderboard, we have these two gentlemen. We have Ollie K and Beefy.
La Boche.
And I think, isn't it tiebreaker alphabetically? Yeah.
We've got a long
So-
old way to go.
So technically Beefy is top of the league, I would say.
Tiebreaker fight to the death.
Okay. I'll
mean,
take those odds.
I think we need to just calm ourselves down. There's a total of 21 points on offer each week, and you, after 4 weeks, you've got 16 points.
Wait.
So just temper those. And then in second place is the opposition podcast. Then there's Matt, and then there's me flagging way behind.
Oh no, wait, am I allowed to
half
boo?
the points.
Sorry.
No.
Is someone going to have a go on social media? Yeah, I've got to clap.
them.
But anyway, like I say, we'll post things up on our socials and make sure that those graphics are out so you can all follow it. But we'll look ahead to our next game, which is against Millwall now.
Yeah, so there's not going to be a show next week because it's international break. So let's
Staring into the long, cold winter of the international break.
what do you mean? Lee Castley's at the wheel now, so it's all looking up. Yeah, we got a long way to go for this 12:30 kickoff Saturday. Early doors, never back the early kickoff, so Luton could have a chance here against Millwall.
It's going to be tough because Millwall, if there's one thing that you can say about Millwall, is that at the moment they know how to score a goal. I know they had
More
a
than
nil.
one.
Yeah, they had a 0-0 draw. I think it was last week. But other than that, they've been banging them in. Duncan Watmore has scored 4 goals already. He bagged an assist yesterday as well, and he scored 4 all season last season.
The
So-
Erling Haaland of the championship.
yeah. So
Can't stay in the sun, I guess.
So yeah, so I'd like to think that obviously we'll go over there and try and do something, but at the moment it's difficult to see. So it's going to be a toughie. It always is at Millwall. It's always a tough
Well,
game.
will we see a change of formation?
Our joint top scorer in the league is own goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where is that win coming from? I think it's got to come good. I don't think it will be Millwall, but it has got to come good. And looking at the chances, Morris and Adebayo both had one-on-ones that were saved by the back of the goalkeeper's thigh, an inch in the other direction, and they're in the goal. And QPR's a different game, so let's not be too downcast. But I don't think Millwall's the time for us to turn it around. I think we need to look a bit longer than that. We've got to start getting points though, or we're going to be cut adrift with Cardiff.
Look, it's got to click at some point. As you said, they've been saved by the back of the thigh. We'll see what happens, really. But as I said, change of formation. Like, this is 2 weeks for Rob Edwards to really have a long, hard look at himself and realise his philosophy needs to go out the window, and he needs to embrace the fundamentals at the end of the day.
I just hope it's not. What? Sometimes I don't know whether you guys play fantasy football, but you look at your team and you go, "Yeah, it's decent that." And then you just keep losing. And you keep on having 100%. Other people scoring more points.
I play fan tracks, which is the most superior form of fantasy football. And I'll tell you what, I'm top of the league. So, it's only been 2 games in the Premier League, but my team is good.
Well,
I've won my championship twice as well.
I look at my fantasy football team and I think, yeah, that's decent. There's nothing wrong with that. And I just really hope that Rob Edwards isn't in that mindset where he's looking at things and going, because to be fair, like I said, let's give credit. The first 55 minutes we were very, very good. And like I say, if that chance goes in, the whole tie is a completely different situation. We're all having a very different conversation. Yep. Social media looks like a totally different, far rosier place. But like I said earlier on, I was very much not along the lines of what Matt was saying. I was looking at it kind of going, we can't lose this. Like, we're not going to concede a goal. McGuinness is marking Frey out the game. I was absolutely happy. But what ensued, obviously, was not good. So surely there's going to be some changes. I'd like to think that another couple of weeks in the legs of Marv and the training will be good. Whether or not we get to see Kraus, I don't know. But the point is that we've brought these players in for a reason, and I wonder if Rob would look at having a bit more of a shored up centre midfield to give a bit more freedom to those others going forward. So we obviously utilise the wings heavily, like whether or not, and we got caught out on the wing. You look at the second goal, we're saying about Chong dropping back and what was going on over on the left side. But if we've got the likes of Marv and Kraus that can mop up if we're heading up the pitch, then hopefully that will hold us in good stead. And an away day to Millwall is going to be hard, so I think that we need to make sure that we've got a really stable base before we get too excited going forward. It's
a long, hard international break now. It doesn't help that we haven't won a game yet, but we should probably wrap this up, right? Right. Well, thank you very much for watching the OK Football Show. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a like and subscribe to our channel. It's the fastest growing Luton Town channel on YouTube. And I don't think I'm even wrong about that. A big thank you to our audio partners, Black Star Amplification and Carry On, for keeping us sounding great. And also a big thank you to our podcast sponsors, the Record Shop in Amersham. Head on down there. You won't be disappointed if you're a vinyl collector. They got tons of vinyl, CDs, and guitars if you fancy picking up one of those. Look, there's no game week next week because it's international break, so we won't be doing this. So we won't be popping into the Brickies, which is great.
And I will be popping into the Brickies.
Oh, you will be, of course. It's your
I
local.
might be as well.
Yeah, okay. So we're all coming to the Brickies.
And as you can see by the boys drinking, they got neck oil on tap now. It's a strong lineup. A strong back three over there. You got Brixton IPA.
4 new beers on tap.
Wow.
In addition to the other potentially 10.
That's solid. Absolutely solid. Come on in here, whether it's a match day or not, because, drown your sorrows. Why not? And good company as well. And also, we hope you have a great week because it's international break, so there's no Luton Town.
Get yourself to non-league, folks.
Yeah.
It's cheap and you can drink by the pitch.
Yeah,
or the Luton Town ladies as well.
Luton Town ladies, also a great shout. You can drink by the pitch.
And we will be dropping some new Luton Town content throughout the week. But, as always, come on, you Hatters.
Come on, you Hatters.
Come on.